This is the ultimate no BS guide to Mr. Negative. Starting with his signature ability, whenever he is immune to a Nullify, Stagger, or Fate Seal effect, he will deal a direct amount of physical damage to the opponent. Additionally, while he is under the effect of a degeneration, he will regenerate a certain amount of health based on your rank and awakening. Thirdly, he will gain a certain amount of energy resistance per every light energy on you, and for every dark energy on you, you will deal direct physical damage to the opponent. On Mr. Negative, he has an always active Nullify, Stagger, and Fate Seal immunity. The opponent's degeneration effects are always reduced by 40% for each unique debuff they are suffering from. Additionally, while evading, Mr. Negative has a guaranteed counterattack that will deal a certain burst of damage depending on your rank and awakening level. The heavy attack of Mr. Negative grants a fury buff, increasing attack by a certain amount for 10 seconds. While charging this heavy attack with one or more light energy active, you gain a 100% chance to gain evade against an opponent's basic attack. Light energy is gained whenever you perform a well-timed block or when you dash back and remove a buff from Mr. Negative. The well-timed block will give you 2 light energy, and dashing back will give you 1 light energy for each buff removed. Light energy will last indefinitely until you reach 10 stacks, after which all stacks will expire over a 6-second period of time. Dark energy is gained when holding a heavy attack, thus converting it into a dark energy. Dark energy lasts indefinitely until 10 stacks, in case all stacks will expire over 16 seconds. While suffering from Disorient, all dark energy is removed and additional dark energy cannot be gained. Each time a dark energy is gained, inflict a Delirium debuff lasting a flat 0.8 seconds per light energy converted. Finally, a delirious opponent suffers minus 60% defensive combat power rate and has their dash and dodge controls reverted. The special attack 1 on Mr. Negative will allow for a block proficiency buff in order for you to take more damage into your block without suffering as much of a penalty, and additionally, all of your light energies will be converted immediately into dark energies. Also, the final hit will place an exhaustion debuff on the opponent, lowering their critical damage rating by a certain amount for 20 seconds. The special attack 2 of Mr. Negative has the first hit inflict a petrified debuff, reducing the opponent's regeneration and ability power rate by 80% for 20 seconds. The second hit inflicts another petrify if 10 or more dark energy are active. The third hit inflicts a degeneration debuff, dealing up to 4,000 damage, direct damage over 10 seconds. And the final hit will consume all dark energy, in which case every dark energy is converted into a degeneration debuff. The special attack 3 inflicts a Delirium debuff for 20 seconds, and all light energy on Mr. Negative will be converted into a regeneration passive. Additionally, all dark energy used up will be dealt as a burst damage onto the opponent. Now we will look at his synergies. Firstly, with Dormammu and the Hood, when inflicting a Delirium, there is a 50% chance to also inflict an Enervate debuff for 2 seconds, preventing the opponent from gaining power when struck. Healing Touch with Venom. Once per fight, when reaching 10 stacks of light energy, gain an indefinite regeneration buff, healing 1% of base health every second. From Light to Dark applies to Spider-Verse heroes. They start with 2 indefinite passive dark energy, and when using a special attack, 1 of these is consumed to inflict a 15-second debuff, determining on which light attack or medium attack or heavy attack they used. Finally, he has basic synergies such as enemies and nemesis that give him a better critical rating and a 6% damage increase. Now we will look at some ideal rotations for Mr. Negative. Before we dive into specific fights and rotations, I must point out that Mr. Negative is not being used fully alone in this video. This is what happens when you use Mr. Negative fully alone. You will start off the fight building light energy as normal, but once you hit the cap of 10 light energy, you will hold heavy in order to cancel this out, and when it converted, it only cancels out into 11 energy dark. So when you have 11 light energy, it will cancel into 11 dark when you are running Mr. Negative without any synergies. This leads to less substantial Special 2 damage. Now, this time we will use the Quake and Nick Fury synergy. Because of this synergy, it guarantees that whenever Mr. Negative uses his heavy attack to evade, it will double not only the amount of dark energy that he converts into, and also it doubles the power of the delirium debuff that you place, so you will have a full power lock on your opponent. So first we will build up to 10 light energy once again. Now at 10 energy we will hold heavy. This time you can see it is converted into 20. So the 10 stacks will convert into 20, and if you have more than 10 stacks you will also convert into 20 as it is the cap. Additionally, as seen in the same clip, the 2 deliriums on the opponent cause them from gaining any power for the entire duration that they are up for. For our first matchup, this is an ideal non-dashback, no dexterity activating matchup. We are additionally running Synergies with Nick Fury to gain plus 20% Fury duration, as well as the 6% attack boost for Mr. Negative. We start out the fight by parrying, medium, and heavy attacking into Winter Soldier. Then we bait out the special one, and we parry the last projectiles to gain more light energy. As you can see, we are nearly 1.5 bars of power, which is where you want to be when you start getting ready to activate the heavy conversion into dark energy. We have 12 light, we get him against the wall, we hold heavy to cancel and convert into dark energy. Now the opponent is power locked because of the Nick Fury Quake synergy, and we can heavy spam in the corner until we get close to our 3rd bar of power, and just before we will throw the special 2. The damage is substantial as it is doing nearly 7,000 against a class disadvantage opponent, and we did not have all of our Fury set up. Once again, we are going to push him against the wall, and we are going to try and bait out the special one and parry the last few projectiles to gain as much light energy as possible. Once again, we parry against the wall, and we can hold heavy and then continue to spam heavy against the wall now that the opponent is power locked. We will try and get up to as many Furies as we can because of the Nick Fury duration synergy. And so we throw one off right here, right with 6 Furies, but it converts into 5 just at the end. So you can see the damage now has been raised to 7,200. This should not be the end though, because there is a little bit more health. However, you can see the damage is much good, and it will carry you throughout the fight. Once again, we convert into dark energy via the heavy attack, and it doubles due to the Nick Fury synergy. He is power locked for the last time, and we will throw one more special 2 before the fight ends. If done correctly, we could have built up even further and done more damage, but that was doing 7,400 per tick. Next, we will jump into a matchup where you can use dexterity. Now I will show you a matchup where you can activate dexterity freely. It is an often a misconception that you cannot activate dexterity with Mr. Negative, but this is untrue. Firstly, you want to start off with a medium heavy attack and then immediately dash in with a heavy and try getting a 5-hit combo or a shortened 4-hit or 3-hit combo. Then you will bait out the special 1 or special 2 of your opponent with the dexterity. You do not have to worry about converting your buffs into light energy because you should not be above the threshold of 10. Now we are at 9, so we have enough to parry. We have 11 light energy that we can convert, doubling into double or dark energy, so we have 20 now. We will then get Captain Marvel against the wall and continue to heavy spam as she is power locked for a short duration. We have a little bit more room of power, and she's not quite at her special 1 yet, so we throw off the special 2. That is doing 8,000 damage a second because there is no class disadvantage in this matchup. We will continue to do the same thing, and we will try to parry as soon as possible to convert our light to dark energy. We do not have 11, so the duration of our deliriums is a bit shorter this time than it was last time, but we still have 20 dark energy, so we will be doing just as much degeneration damage as before. She is right about to get to a special 1, so you want to throw your special 2 off right before she does, and once again we are doing nearly 8,000 damage per second. That is 16,000 damage in total. Once again, we are at 9 light energy. We want to get off the dexterity here, and then attempt to bait out a 5-hit combo from her by holding block, and then while she is doing her combo, use a heavy attack to cancel. She is nearly dead, so we will just build up to one more special 2 and throw it off very early, as the degens will finish it extremely quickly. So unlike most people say, you can use dexterity with Mr. Negative. You just have to make sure you are always below the threshold of 10 before doing so, or else it will be much harder to convert those light into dark energies. Now we will begin to look at specific great matchups for Mr. Negative. The first I will take him against is No Retreat. Keep in mind that my Mr. Negative is not awakened, and when he is, he gains significant healing when suffering from a degeneration effect. So if you accidentally dash back twice in a No Retreat fight, Mr. Negative will be mostly healing from this. Additionally, you usually don't want to dash back with Mr. Negative, so this will not be a worrisome node. Here, you try to parry the special hits of Elektra, and here I accidentally activate the evade charge without holding a heavy, so it only canceled into 10 dark energy instead of 20. Now we will build up to more light energy again because the duration on 10 will not provide us enough damage to finish this fight out quickly. We are at 11, so we will hold block and bait out a 5-hit combo, usually activating heavy attack on the second hit to cancel into special 2. The degen damage off this rank 3 is hitting for 4600, but that was mostly unramped without Furies or full Dark Energy, and it still finishes the fight very easy. So an Act 6 opponent is very easy for Mr. Negative to complete, even in a hard node like this. Another great node is a Power Booster node. For example, this is Blaze and Power Axis, so we will be dealing more special attack damage via Blaze 500% and via Power Shield 400%. So we will have plus 900% special attack damage. Although the fight will end when Mr. Negative throws his first special 2, it is important to remember that these numbers do not include the degeneration that will be on him. So we will build up to special 2 normal via parrying and trying to get as much light energy as we can. We are right now at 4, but we will try to dash back soon after this to convert those Furies into light. We are at 10 light energy, so we cancel out with heavy attack, and we throw our special attack, which kills Gambit, but if the degenerations had gone, they would have hit for likely over 30,000 damage. The next node that we will test Mr. Negative in is Flare. Once again, I do not have the Awakened ability activated, so we will not be receiving any healing from the degen. Additionally, I have 2 other Science Champions on my team, so I will be suffering plus 50% degeneration damage from the Colorblind node. However, if I had him awakened, this would not be nearly as substantial. Because we have Flare, Mr. Negative's base damage is increased significantly, which is one of his weakest points as a character. We will build up to a special 2 to throw it off, but it will likely be enough damage before the degens can start doing their work. We are at 10 Dark Energy because we failed an evasion via heavy attack, and the fight is nearly over before we even throw special 2. So, in a higher health scenario with this node, the fight would be over much easier and much quicker without the degens even doing work. The next fight that we will test Mr. Negative in is a Power Shield node. This is once again in Act 7, so there is large health pools, this one of 428,000. We will not do any basic damage off our hits because Power Shield is active, but the degeneration damage will be scaled much more significantly because we have plus 400% special attack damage. Additionally, there is Bubble Shield, which is not an ideal node for Mr. Negative because you will be parrying a lot with him, unless you have a matchup where you can get a lot of buffs and cancel those into your light energy. So we will attempt to limit our parries in this matchup. We will dash back as soon as we can to activate those into light energy, the Furies. We do it and we have 12 now, 14 via the parry. So we will hold heavy now to cancel into dark energy. He is power locked now via the Nick Fury synergy, and we will attempt to build up to our special 2 and finish with degeneration damage. We intercept with special attack, and we can see that the degenerations are ticking for 23,000 damage via the Power Shield node. This makes him a great option for this because he's able to finish fights usually with 1 special attack. Next, we will take a look at 2 regeneration fights, which is mainly what Mr. Negative is known for, as he has 2 very potent heal reversals off his special 2. Now, Mr. Negative is mostly known for the heal reversal ability, but I showed the other clips before to show that he has substantial damage alongside of this. But it is time to show why he is mainly remembered in this game so far. First, we will build up to the certain amount of light energy, hold heavy to cancel into dark, but this is not what matters. What matters most is that we have the ability to place the 2 petrifies on the opponent, and this can be done even without the Nick Fury synergy. We go into special 2, and we will not hit the opponent for the rest of the fight, as the degens and the heal reversal with regeneration will finish out this fight. So a great example of why he is good for this node. The second heal reversal fight is against Realm of Legends Wolverine. This is one of the standard heal reversal tests in the game, and usually if they can take this down in a good enough time, they are a very good champion in terms of heal reversibility. This is a great example of Mr. Negative because this is what he's known for, and as the regenerations go higher on Wolverine, he will begin shooting down much faster. First, we will continue to build up to the Dark Energy so that we can have the degens as well as the petrifies on the opponent. We are at 10, so we will try to parry and then cancel into heavy. Here we cancel, so we have 20 Dark Energy. I will throw 1 heavy attack and attempt to go into my special 2 spam phase as soon as possible. He is locked in the corner because of the deliriums, and here we cancel into special 2 while the regens are up. So it is dealing significant damage not only because of the regen, but the degeneration ticks are doing lots of damage as well. You see here that we are about to run out of degeneration timers, but the heal reversal is so potent that he drops nonetheless. Next, we will show one last matchup that is very good for Mr. Negative. The final node that we will test Mr. Negative on today is an Icarus. So in Icarus, you will gain a Fury every time you land a basic hit, but that can be cancelled out by a heavy attack. So Mr. Negative is great for this because he spams lots of heavy attacks throughout the fight, But also, if you wish to gain a lot of Furies on yourself, you can easily cancel them out via dashing back. This also makes him a very good option because he will not need his synergy team with Nick Fury and Quake to double Dark Energy, because if you build up a large stack of Furies, as you see here, you will be able to dash back. So I go from 10 to 17 via one dash back, and then hold heavy to cancel. So that would have been 17 Dark Energy had I not been running the Nick Fury synergy, which would have been far more than enough damage. Then, when you are in this phase, you can do lots of 5-hit combos to get as many Furies going into your special attacks as possible. As you can see here, the degen is going for 11,000 damage. And that is the end of our showcase of Mr. Negative. This has been the ultimate no BS guide to Mr. Negative. As for where I believe he fits in the game, I would say he is either the 6th, 7th, or 8th best science champion. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any further questions about Mr. Negative, leave them below in the comments.